Hi guys, I'm Ahmad and welcome back to Shadows Awakening. Now, we are fighting once again with a new boss in Shadows Awakening on the highest difficulty. This time is a boss that you basically cannot skip, unlike the Arachnid boss, the spider boss that we have did in the previous one, because that one is like optional. This one is necessary for the story to progress, so you need to actually defeat him. And the boss name is Darmok, also known as the Duke. I'm not exactly sure what's his role, but, well, he's a sorcerer, he's a mage. Quite annoying one, actually. So you begin the fight. Immediately after that, Darmok will try to teleport on one side of the room. Now, I've tried to fight with him a few times, and apparently this is quite random. So, he won't teleport behind you. He won't teleport to the gate where you have used to enter this arena. So, you have three options. Basically, the idea is that you need to transform back into the Devourer and stun him. The thing is that I've tried to beat him like a few times. I've tried to take like the safe route, but to be honest, the biggest problem comes when he enters the second phase. So I decided just to put everything on one card and I just stunned him. I've activated everything I had and I just decided to burst him like crazy. And apparently that tactic works quite well. You're gonna get hit by one of his abilities, but I think in the end it's actually like quite worth it. It's gonna depend on you, however. Now, he is using two abilities. He's using the Fire Wave. As you can see, the Fire Wave after spawning will just go straight forward, so it's quite easy to avoid. The problem to avoid comes when he will try to spawn missiles. The best idea how I've managed to defeat it is that to transform to Urshak. You get that guy by doing an optional quest back at the city, and try to get from him as further as that is humanly possible. After the missiles get quite close to you, try to use the roll and roll between the missiles. They can turn, but they cannot turn back. That's the thing in order to avoid them. At least for me, it worked a few times. Another ability, real annoying ability that Darmok will use is that he will summon additional adds to the fight. Those are like, I think, 3 golems, little spirit thingies, little fire spirits. You could try to beat them, but to be honest, for me, the best thing to do was just to avoid them, because they will basically despawn after like a few seconds. So just try to run around, like, think that's 10 seconds around, more or less. And after that, they will just literally despawn without you wasting health points or mana. You have to do this thing while avoiding, of course, the Fire Wave and the Fireballs or whatever thing that Darmok uses. After hitting Darmok like quite a lot, he'll begin the phase 2. Now phase 2 is actually the fight phase, the real fight phase with Darmok, because now he will teleport on one of the 4 pillars around the arena and he was gonna summon his ad, the Iron Golem. The Iron Golem is actually quite powerful. He is very tankish. So the best thing to do basically is to stun him using the Devourer and do the same thing you did with Darmok at the beginning. So activate all you have and try to beat the living shit out of the Golem before he's gonna become an actual threat. Remember to time your attacks with the stun. If you're lucky and you'll be able to deliver another stun from, in my example, I'm playing as the Barbarian King. So if you manage to deliver one more stun, then try to continue the combo. If not, try to run away, because the Golem hits hard and he also rolls, and the rolling is even more deadly than his normal hits, so keep that thing in mind. Darmok will continue to use his fire missiles. He will continue to spawn the 2 additional fire imps, or fire elementals, hard to say exactly what that thing is, but he will no longer use his firewall. After you're gonna beat up the Iron Golem, and remember that Darmok is gonna heal when he'll be like teleporting between the pillars, so try to not take too long time fighting with the Iron Golem. After that, he will teleport in the middle of the room, and he will, once again, he won't use the firewall, he will use a different version of the fireballs, but also he will spawn lasers. Now, the lasers are extremely dangerous, simply because if you're gonna get hit by them, that's basically a one-shot hit for you, and you have to start the fight from the very beginning. But literally, after he gets to the middle, you only have to like worry about the missiles, the fireballs that he spawns. You just pop up any buffs you can afford, still with the mana left, and you basically finish the fight with Darmok. Not very hard fight. I've actually managed to beat him, I think, in my 5th try, or maybe 6th try, I don't remember honestly. But comparing him to this spider boss, mother, queen, whatever thing, this was a walk in the park. This spider arachnoid boss, whatever thing that we did in the previous episode, she was way more powerful, man. Trust me on that. So Darmok, even if you don't have the equipment, he's quite easy to beat. The only problem starts with the second phase. So as I said, trying to burn the first phase by stunning him, just running close to him, activating all of the buffs. If you don't know, basically, in my example, I use the Devourer buff for increased damage, and then I activate 2 additional buffs from the Barbarian King, and then I start to beat Darmok like crazy. And that actually managed to push me quite well with his health bar, and after that was just finishing finishing him off in order to activate phase 2. The thing is that once you get to the catacombs, it's very hard to get the healing stone back to full, so try to find like a healer inside of the catacombs. Otherwise, without proper healing, you may not actually be able to perform the burst tactic, just saying. But anyway, Darmok is the boss. I think you guys will be able quite well to defeat him, even on the highest difficulty. But the next challenge is gonna be a little bit different, but that's gonna happen in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked the episode, please pick up a lot. I'll see you all in the next video.
This challenge needs a stronger warrior. I shall show thee true power. Pathetic! I shall handle this myself. Thou shalt face me now. That soul is mine!